right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm just making sure that everything is working. If you guys, who's ever watching live, can comment and let me know that you can hear me and see me, okay? So I'm pretty pumped for today's special live stream. So couple months back, I can't even believe we're in September. In July, I ran a challenge called the Money Making Marketing Accelerator. And the whole purpose of the challenge was really to walk the challengers through in setting up a marketing plan specifically designed to meet business goals. A lot of time when we think about social media marketing, it's just kind of like posting, and hoping we get clients, hoping someone is going to buy, and hope is not a plan. So it was the first time I ever revealed my personal process of how I create my online marketing plans whenever I'm promoting an event or a new program or a new product, right? So that's where the whole idea started. And so today I wanted to interview and introduce you guys to one of my clients who not only took the challenge and absolutely crushed it, but she became an implementer. Meaning, so her and I worked privately together for 6 weeks, where after she created her online marketing plan, she actually implemented it. What a concept, right? It's one thing to create a plan. It's quite another to implement it step by step, monitor it, and tweak it, right? So I've actually known her for quite a while, and I have been really dying to tell her story. Her entrepreneurial story is an amazing story. I've met many women entrepreneurs. I've been blessed to work with many of them, and this one I knew just one day the rest of my audience really needed to know who she was, how she throws down, because she's got an incredible work ethic that I haven't seen in a very, very long time. And she proved it again through the implementer. So I'm going to bring her on. Y'all say hello. What's up, Miss Trisha Dunn? Trisha Dunn's in the house. What's up, lady? All right. So why don't we start off? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. Thanks, Vanessa. I appreciate all those words. That was very nice. And yes, we met a few years back, so we've kind of known each other, worked together. My name is Trisha Dunn, and I am a home education specialist and educator. I have 2 degrees in education, and I have over 20 years of experience in education with tutoring, teaching in classroom and remedial. But I have this is my 19th year of homeschooling. My own 6 kids, 2 of which have graduated. But
that's crazy. Can we just pause right there? I mean, when I first heard that, I was like, you got how many kids now? And I'm a single mom too. So I'm a single mom with 1 kid. And so when I heard that you had 6, I was like, holy cow, that's beyond impressive. So sorry, I had to pause there for a second.
Okay. So yes, so I use my homeschool experience and knowledge also with my education, and I'm also a certified parent coach. So I combine that all to bring to the table for parents. I bring support for quarterly support for homeschool families that are looking for that, and other types of organization, customizing curriculum, helping them do that for the individual needs of their kids. But I also then provide tailored tutoring for homeschool families and also traditional tutoring and ACT, SAT prep. So that's, in a nutshell, what I do.
That's a lot. So how did you get started in homeschooling? Was it because you personally wanted to homeschool your kids, or?
No, absolutely. Absolutely not. I had no intention on homeschooling at all. I have 2 degrees in education, 1 in special ed, and I fully saw myself working in a special ed classroom, and that's what I wanted to do since I was in 4th grade. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, and so that's what my plans were. But when I got married, which was pretty much right after college for me. My oldest is 21, so 21 through 11. So I had, pretty much many years of just children. So
Yes.
we had already agreed that I would be staying home until school age for the kids, and then I would go, into my career. So when my oldest turned 3, by that time I was already on baby. I was pregnant with baby number 3,
I'm
and
tired just
so
hearing that.
my
Like just having one kid and being pregnant with like God bless you, girl, because I can't. I'm tired now. And
yeah. So, so it was actually my kid's father that suggested and recommended that I consider homeschooling, which I was opposed to. And to this day, I'll still say I'm going year by year. 19 years
19
in, I
years
still
later, you're
say
like, I'll think about homeschooling.
I go year by year. So for a long time, it was just something I did.
Yeah.
And for the first 4 of my children, I customized their school experience every year for all 4 of them. Then when number 5 began school, that's when I was like, okay, this is a lot for me to do, like create a customized curriculum each year for each of them.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of really explored like philosophies of homeschooling and where do I line up and how can I, use that information. So that's all what I bring to the table when we talk with parents. I've already done that research. So when I talk with people, that's what I bring. Yeah.
I'd say after 19 years, you know what you're talking about. I'm just guessing here. But so then how did this turn into a business?
So that's an interesting question. So as I said, I just considered homeschool as just a side thing. When I got divorced, I was looking for something that I could do without. I, at that point, didn't feel like I really wanted to go back full into a classroom setting.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, I've had parents ask me for help with helping their families, their children, and so I became certified as a parent coach, and was trying to make all of the things that I offered. So my experience is a part of what I bring. So I had a divorce coaching program, I had a parenting coaching program, I had a women's empowerment coaching program, and I talked with another mentor of mine, and she said, why don't you put this all under the umbrella of homeschooling, because that is what you're doing primarily. So that's
Right.
really how the homeschool consulting specialist came about. That's been about 5 years ago or so that I started with that title, and then from there incorporated my business, and that's the journey on that end.
Wow. So you've been a homeschooling expert for 19 years, obviously. Homeschooling, 6 kids and then others. And then so you officially turned this into a business 5 years ago. Is that correct?
The official LLC is going on 4 years that
Okay.
it's been officially incorporated. Yes, but
Okay.
yeah.
Got it. So you've been on social media, right? So you took all the steps that everyone takes and starting their Facebook page and starting, their Instagram and, whatnot. And so before this, how were you marketing yourself on social media?
For the most part, I felt like, because I've been doing this for so long with everything that I've done,
Yeah.
I felt like I was doing a pretty good job at doing what I was supposed to do. We've worked together too, so I kind of also had some of what I've learned from other challenges and things you've dropped here and there.
Yeah.
But I really kind of did feel like I wanted to keep my hands in all of the social medias, so I was posting and trying to be creative and putting posts in all of those places, and spending a lot of time doing that. And so one of the things that I finally listened to you, because it's not like that's new information from what you've been saying, is like stick to one, so I shifted that to pretty much just deciding to stick with Facebook as where I wanted to do my posting.
Okay.
And the other major thing that I changed up, so posting like graphics, I love Canva, so I love that creative piece
Yeah.
of creating a image and posting it up. That part I could do, and I was doing already, sometimes a couple times a day, at least throughout the week, almost every day, if not every day. So I felt like I had that pretty well handled. But the thing I was very resistant to was the going live, which I know gets more engagement.
Yeah.
But that to me was the really the big thing that shifted for me, is that I committed during the month of July to go live twice a week, and did that on my fan page and then on my personal page as well. So that was huge, a huge difference.
So, so you were on social media, and we focused on Facebook. So then you were pretty, I mean, you understood social media, right? Because you've been in business for a while. So then what made you decide to join the accelerator, the 5-day challenge?
Um, the 5-day challenge came about because of the whole idea was to be able to market to a program. The timing was perfect for me because what has changed in what I'm offering this year from what I was in the years before offering for homeschool and also tutoring was that I really was feeling like I was listening to what people needed, and I wanted to be part of the solution and offer a virtual setting that would also be a classroom. Whereas before I really loved to tailor to one individual, and pre-COVID I was going in person or meeting at the library, so that was kind of my thing. So at the time that your challenge came about, I had decided that really what I felt was really needed was to offer Zoom classes for small groups to be doing online for school. So the timing was perfect, but I was already pretty busy because I was already getting people asking me questions about homeschooling and my other tutoring students where they wanted to kind of fill the gaps in from what happened in the spring. So I was very resistant to join the challenge, and but I knew that I needed to have an actual plan,
Right.
to make this launch successful. That's how I kind of looked at it. So that's really what kind of did it, and then a little message in my message box from you kind of really pushed me over the edge because I really didn't feel like I was ready. Not ready. I was ready, but I didn't feel I had the time for your challenges because I know what your challenges are like.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So you've pretty much taken all my challenges and have crushed them all. I mean, you stood out, like you're in it to win it for sure from day one. So I don't think my challenges are that time consuming, but I make you work for sure. I make you work for it. So was it as time consuming as you thought it was going to be?
So, and I want to clarify that too, because it's not that it's time consuming. It's just that I give 100+% of everything that I do.
Yeah, you do.
So if I'm going to take the time, I think there was one challenge that I did not do that you've done since I've known you. But if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do 5 days of my absolute 100% best. And I know with that comes with, it's not just get the assignment done for that day and be done with it. It's put the thoughts into it, take the instruction and the teaching lessons that you're giving, and also change it up. And that's what I was feeling like I didn't have the time to put my 100% into the challenge. So it wasn't the time and that's what I really love about your challenges, is that really there isn't a lot of outside time involved. It's pretty simple to do. It's just that there's a lot that you just make me think. So I have to go back to the drawing board a couple times because you're not okay with, something that's half. So
I don't like half-assed. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that, and you know me. We worked together before, so I was like, oh, she's gonna call me on it, and you did. For things where you're like, you're not gonna let it slide. So yeah, that's what I was thinking would not fit into my time.
Got it.
Constraints.
I got it. All right. We have some shout outs. Jennifer Sanchez says, hello, ladies. Thanks, Jennifer, for watching.
Hello.
And Jem is also joining. Jem, I think, is from the UK. What's up, Jem? And I think she took the challenge, the Money Making Marketing Accelerator. So thanks, ladies, for watching. All right. So you decided to take the challenge to build a plan, which is the whole purpose of the challenge. Like I said, for the first time ever, I've actually revealed how I actually create my own plans, and I walk the challengers through step by step. And so then you crushed the challenge and became an implementer and was one of my clients for working privately with me for the next 6 weeks to actually get the marketing plan done, to actually implement it. Like I said, it's one thing to, take these challenges and walk away with something. But with the Money Making Marketing Accelerator, I can gift wrap a marketing plan to any of my clients, right? But it's what you actually do. It's how you act. It's how you implement this plan that's going to make a difference. So to me, the plan is the easy part. It's really executing it. So Trisha began working with me for 6 weeks after the accelerator ended. And so we started with your plan, right? We had your goals and whatnot, and how you were going to focus on Facebook and, things like that. So during the 6 weeks, what shifts happened? Because you worked, right? You definitely worked towards your business goal. And can we just, celebrate this woman for tripling her income within the past 6 weeks? So if anyone's watching, can we just give her a shout out? I mean, that's pretty amazing. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, how do I get to like 5K months? How do I get to this? How do I get to that? And, that's why I wanted to have you specifically on, because that's amazing. And you should feel incredible about that. I am so unbelievably proud. I know what went down in those 6 weeks. So what was it within the 6 weeks that implementing this actual marketing plan that shifted for you to allow you to kind of break that business goal and finally, have one of the best successful months or weeks within your business in the past 5 years?
Yeah. So yes, I'm definitely obviously very happy with the results, right? So that's just huge. I'm still kind of like what? Because I thought that I was doing everything correctly, and I thought my schedule was full before the 6 weeks. So I was I was thinking I'm okay. We'll just see how it goes. But obviously I'm going to do the work. So I think a couple things along the way that happened with this plan. So it's interesting to me because I think a lot of times when I work with students, when I work with people and we talk about a plan, it seems like, okay, here's the plan and this is the one we're going to work with and this is what's going to happen and it's going to all just like, now that we have this plan, it's just a magical thing. I love the quote that says, if plan A, B, or C doesn't work, there's 26 letters of the alphabet.
Right.
So and that's pretty much what I live by. But in this implementer program in the 6 weeks, what I had planned and what I thought was going to be hugely successful and just like lots of, waiting lists for was my classes, because I had chunked out pretty much my whole day to accommodate homeschool small group classes.
Right.
And because of everything that was happening in the months July, August, and even into September, with schools not really having the plan, parents not knowing what was happening, I wasn't seeing results right away for that program. And actually didn't see much for that program at all. So one thing that hugely shifted for me was I'm not one that really gets down as far as like when my plan, I pretty much have figured out I'm the only one that can pick myself back up and then I just keep going. So I wasn't really discouraged that wasn't working, but because I had said this is the plan and this is my goal and this is how it's going to happen, I had expectations of how it's going to unfold, and it wasn't unfolding that way at all.
Right.
So I think about halfway through the 6 weeks of working with you in the implementer, one of the things that we had to do each week was send our, here's what's happened and here's what I'm doing this next week. And I really didn't want to respond to you and about halfway through, because I really felt like I'm not seeing the results that I want to see.
Yeah.
I felt pressured. I felt pressured from you in a good way, but I felt pressured because that's not usually how I usually am my motivation. So the commitment to go live, the other things that I was saying, yes, I'm doing this, felt really kind of forced and pressured for me. And so I had a hard time with that. And then I was doing it and there was not the results coming up. But then what I realized was I'm not giving up, but I had to shift my plan completely. Like my goal halfway through, and this was kind of like I said, I think what it is, and I wasn't clear on what it was going to be, but I said, I think what it is my goal is no longer my goal.
Correct.
And then you said to me, well, what's your goal? And I knew enough to know that the goal wasn't working, but I hadn't taken the time to say, redirect, what's my goal then? When you said that, it really frustrated me because I didn't have the answer. I didn't know what the new goal was, but we were meeting that week. So I had like a day in between. I said, first goal is that before we meet, I'm going to have a goal. And that really shifted it, because what I was able to see was kind of go back to what I knew of offering the one-on-one tutoring for all of the things that I offer, and still have some openings for some of my classes that I could see from parents that I had talked to already that were potentially going to be working with me this year. The ages were more on the older middle school and high school ages. So I was able to shift and see how many traditional e-learning students I needed and wanted for a goal, how many ACT students I wanted, and really focus on that as my goal, instead of feeling like I was out of control, filling up my plan of the class schedule with other one-on-ones. So when I shifted that, it was really a mind game, because I was feeling like I wasn't being successful. Although each week we talked, I had added multiple clients. I was adding families regularly, but it wasn't for what I had designated as this is the purpose of our plan.
Right.
So when I shifted the plan, that's what really made the huge difference for me, of setting new goals and just, really putting it out to the universe. So this is my new goal. This is what I want. This is what I need. And I think a day or two after we spoke, after that time, I was pretty much filled up.
You were filled up. It was insane how fast it went. And
almost filled up. Then I was ready to say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
You said, no, you're not. And I was like, ah.
I'm sorry. Did I push you more? I'm sorry.
You did. Yes.
So Jeanette Miranda, she commented, she's like, big, my goal is no longer my goal, right? And so this is super important, because, with your marketing plan, it's not just about designing the plan and then implementing it. That's really the point, and that's why I always push my clients to act, right? Like, you can plan all day, but it means crap unless you actually implement it. And then once you implement it, you're going to have to monitor, and it's not just going to go smooth sailing like the way you planned it out, right? Like, that's step one. And so this was a huge shift and a big game changer for you, because I know you were down. I know, you, because you're an overachiever, and those are the people that I work with. You're a hard worker, and the fact that you weren't getting results from your plan, I knew you just had to shift, but I needed you to get there yourself, right? And so this is what happens with people, is that they build a plan, right? They have these business goals, and then when it's not going right, they give up, right? We get frustrated and we give up, right? We're trying to force it, right? We were trying to force these sales. We were trying to force this program, and that will never work. I've said this time and time again. If you don't believe in your program, I'm not saying you didn't believe, but there was something else in you that made this a lot easier for you to land the clients that you want to land and work with them in a way that you've always wanted to work with them, right?
Yes.
That was like the original, what you always wanted, how you always wanted to fill your classes with, and it wasn't necessarily a virtual class. It turned out to be what you always wanted. So once you realize that, and then with your work that you were putting in every week inside the implementer, that was the game changer. And that's one thing that I really why I wanted to do this live case study, because that was such a game changer and just a tiny, tiny shift, but it was hard work mindfully for you to get there, right? And then once you did,
week was tough.
It was tough.
That week when we were about halfway through, and I realized that I'm not meeting my goals for what I had picked, but I knew I was still being successful, but yet somehow the mind chatter was telling me, because of the way I operate, you're not doing this. You're falling, not just short, you are like flat on your face, failing. Like, I think I even said that to you. I feel like I'm failing.
You felt like you were failing. Yeah.
But reality is once I stepped back and said, but look at all of these calls that I'm talking with parents. all the people I'm helping, whether they became paid clients or not, that's just who I am. I'm going to meet with them. I'm going to help because that's what I do first. And then seeing that exactly what you said is that one of the reasons that I strongly feel I didn't fill up the way my plan was is because there's a reason why in the past I've not really jumped on that, because what I bring is customized individual tutoring and work with students. So if I had a filled up class, I don't feel like I would be doing what I love to do, which is really knowing my students, really being able to work with them and give them specific strategies that are going to help them. Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I've had classrooms of 30 plus, I've worked with that, but that's not my sweet spot. That's not what I love to do. So I feel like you said, you hit it right on the nail, and you're really good at dropping these things that make me like, I feel at first I'm like, no, that's not right. I really am behind this. I really love this idea. I'm really ready for it. But then you say it and I think about it and I'm thinking, you know what? You are right. That is part of what's holding this whole thing back, because it's not really what I want to do. I still want to service the families that are choosing traditional education or the e-learning option.
Right.
Because that is huge for me. Even though I've homeschooled for this many years, I am fully aware that for most and a lot of families, it's not going to be the right option for a lot of families. And that's one of the things also that I feel like I really am very good at when we have a meeting with a family, is that I'm able to say, this is probably not going to work, but here's a school that would be perfect for you. Right. Or here's something you can do that supplements that. So, yeah, so definitely that was a huge shift. Yeah. For sure.
And I think the other thing that we talked about, and I said to you, was, be open to how it's coming, right?
Right.
Just because it was coming. It was coming to you. It was just, you have to be open to the different ways. It may not come to you exactly how you laid it out, right? But the fact that you were actually implementing it and doing something about it, the universe or whatnot was trying to meet you there, right? It was trying to meet you there. And that's really the work that you did. A lot of people think, yes, it's creating these Canva images, and yes, it's going live and being consistent and everything I, talk about and things like that. But the real work is the mindset of when you're actually going through your process of marketing your business online and seeing what you really want to do, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the consistency comes in. I just did a live stream about this on Tuesday, and I talked about it. And consistency is so beyond valuable in growing your business online, not just because people see you on a regular basis. Of course, that's marketing 101, right? But it's because it tightens up your process and your messaging, and you really understanding what it is you want and how you're communicating that to your audience, so they are like, oh, okay, this is how she can help me. But half of it is us, right? It's all in our brains, and we get so much in our brain that, so you did the work. It was a lot of work, meaning like mindset work and getting there. And then once you did that, you crushed it. Crushed it.
And also, I really have to give a shout out to all the people that I know that were sharing what I was posting, what I was saying when I was saying I was going to go live, the word of mouth, families that I've worked with that knew me, families that I haven't worked with, but I've met with them a couple times and they know what I do and have sent clients to me, and that to me is incredible. Yeah. And for a little bit, it took me a while to see that's all part of the visibility, because I was able to track one of the things you pointed out, is me track where are these calls coming from, where are my clients coming from, and a lot are word of mouth of people saying, hey, I've worked with her, she works with my son or my daughter. And so I would be remiss to not say, that was definitely a huge part. But the more visible that I was, the easier it was for people to share, and then they shared, and before, when I would just share a post, I had, I've always had a good group of people that no matter what I post about my business, they're gonna share it because they know, they're supporting what I do.
You have an incredible audience that backs you.
Yeah,
You
but
have an
now
incredible
it's
audience that
like
backs you.
because of, what I've got, and because of the need, there was such a need, and that's really what it was. It wasn't like my posts were on information about knowing your homeschool state laws
Yeah.
and how do you go forward like this, and you want to set up a time to talk. Let's do that. And that's, was huge of the visibility, but it wasn't just me. It was, me putting the work in, me putting the posts up, me doing the lives. But then I had so many people take it to the next level and share and reshare and post. And so, I mean, I just really want to say, that was a huge part of my visibility and my work, but also I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. So, I don't know where that fits in this, but other than just say, I just feel very grateful for the opportunity to say, let me be more visible, and then give the opportunity for people to say, yeah, she knows what she's talking about. Work with Trisha. So that was amazing to see too.
It was. You were everywhere. And so that leads me to my other question, because this is one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about here live, and in particular with you, because of the pandemic and where we all find ourselves, right? And because of, the schools not being open and us parents trying to figure this out, right? Either e-learning, homeschool, what it is, what is it that we're doing? I don't want people to think that, oh, well, of course she crushed it, right? Because this is her industry and all eyes were, on this industry. And they're absolutely right. Like, it was a big industry. That's why I went and got you. That's why I went and got you for the challenge, because I knew people needed you, like, badly right now. I'm like, Trisha, if you don't, take advantage of this. But that's one thing. It's not, even though your industry was spotlighted right now, had a big ass spotlight, right? It wasn't just, you posting and walking away. It takes work, right?
Yes.
It's the same with my industry too. People are like, well, of course Vanessa's successful. Everyone needs social media. No, boo. You can't help anyone unless they can see you. Unless they see you, they start to trust you. They know you become the authority figure in your industry. And so talk a little bit about that, of like, what the visibility did. And that's a thing that this happened organically for you because you stayed consistent with your visibility, and people were like, oh yeah, ask Trisha, ask Trisha, ask Trisha. You made it super easy for your audience to share your content, to tag you, right? And so, your plan was content marketing, right? So it wasn't like you were doing a webinar or, an event or anything like that. It was, you chose during the accelerator to do just content marketing and just continue to educate people. But let's be honest in the amount of work that you had to put in to stay visible and to promote yourself, especially during this time. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think that, I've had so many people say, you've got to be so busy. You've got to have all these new homeschooling families, all this, because of what's going on. And yes, I, since March, have just in calls alone increased. I was going like maybe 3 to 4 calls, like just every season. So every 3 to 4 months, I was getting about 3 calls about, how could I start homeschooling if I was interested in it, to about 3 to 4 a week, starting from like the end of the school year until the beginning of this school year. So I was getting those types of calls, and some were leading to work with me in some way, but most of them were more information, which is what I really felt like was the need of just, we all have options as parents to educate our children. We've always had those options. It seems like now it's kind of like now we have to choose which one, but the choice has always been ours. And if you're feeling for whatever reason one way is not working, then let's talk about another quality option. That's been my view. So it's been interesting to me that the majority of where I've gained has been what I was doing all along with what I call traditional tutoring, and also my test prep students. I've continued to increase with that, especially now that the tests seem to be kind of back on track. So that has been huge. And I have gained some homeschool families, but the majority of families that I'm gaining have not been homeschooled. So that's kind of like what people I would think would be, but it
Right.
still has been really huge to me to keep the integrity there, where I'm not kind of capitalizing on, the fear or the like, let me steer you to this because this could possibly be something that, I'm going to make money off. That's not at all
No,
who I
and you
am or
didn't
what
come
I'll
off like
ever
that
be.
at all. Right.
So, yeah, so I feel like, just saying the way that I approached it. I was on a homeschool unschooling summit that just happened to be kind of an answer to my prayers of wanting to help people have more information in a bigger setting. And I was considering doing a Zoom conference, but then a friend of mine hosted a summit, which was awesome, and we had people from all over participate on that with other homeschooling experts. That was amazing, and I'm still in contact and working with those connections today, like working with them. So, yeah, so I think that to kind of wrap up what you're asking is, yeah, so given, yes, I had more phone calls, I had more interest in what I offer, what I bring to the table, but I feel 100% that had I not put as much into the information and the marketing plan that was put together, I don't feel that, one, I wouldn't have been as visible for people to share as readily, to put in the hands in the moms groups and the other places in Facebook.
Right.
And also, I don't feel like even the people that know what I do and have shared before, I don't think their reach would have been as big either. So I think that for all of that around, it took commitment. I was already busy to try to find the times to go live twice and make it valuable, and not just because I said I was going live, I'm going to get on here and talk about blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Like, I really wanted it to be like something where somebody could say, okay, this is great. Let me go find out more about this. Let me get on that 30-minute free call with her and see what I need to do. So, yeah, so that was definitely hard work on my part, even though the season, that everything that's going on leads to bringing in interest. And I say interest because that a lot of the homeschool was just that, just like throwing it out there of like, maybe this is a possibility, but the choices were still up in the air until
Right.
the end of this summer.
Yeah. And the fact that, this virtual summit just came at the perfect time, right?
Well,
Where
that's,
we were
yeah,
able to discuss, okay, how do you leverage this
yeah.
virtual summit towards your
That was
business goal?
amazing. That
Yeah.
was really amazing because I had decided. I actually started making a Canva graphic to say I'm doing this. I had talked to another mastermind group I'm in and said, I don't feel like I have the time to do this, but I feel like I really need to do this. And then, like, that next day, I saw a post of who's able to contribute to this. Me,
Yep.
like, it was, then I could just do my 1 hour presentation in my area, and I didn't have to try to cover all of homeschool because there's such broad
Right.
information there to kind of give to everybody.
Well, the fact that
So,
you were still able to leverage this opportunity, right? That
mm,
speaking on a virtual summit, a lot of people, have these incredible opportunities, but they don't know how to connect the dots between their marketing plan and the business goal. And so the fact that you were still able to stay focused
mhm.
and saying, okay, how can I leverage this to meet it to my business goal, what you wanted to make within, these programs that you were selling. So that was an amazing feat. All right, Ms. Trisha Dunn, I just have one other question for you and for our live viewers or replay viewers. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the comments. I see we have a handful of people still watching. So what would you say was your biggest takeaway from this experience? Actually, I have two questions. What was your biggest takeaway or aha moment? I like to call Oprah moment, when Oprah says something and it like just triggers or whatever the case may be. What was your biggest takeaway from this experience?
Um, there's several, but I would say definitely being comfortable and okay with, and I tell my clients the same thing, of shifting the plan. When you know it's not working, that it doesn't have to stop you in your tracks, that you just need to assess what does work and what doesn't work, and then make a new plan and go for that. And don't let things stop you. I'm one that things don't stop me, so that part was kind of natural. But I don't know that I've ever had an experience like this where my actual plan didn't go as planned that
Right.
in that big of a way, where
Yeah.
I had to really shift what is my end goal completely. So that was huge, of not letting that stop me. And then definitely the visibility, for sure, was the next probably biggest aha moment of, that doesn't just mean do something to check it off the list. Being visible with a purpose, and bringing, making it worth your while, making it worth your viewers' while, because that's what I've struggled with before when I've seen other people go live. One of the reasons why I've been resistant is because sometimes it just feels like it's just kind of like I'm obligated because I've said I'm going to go live once a week, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't actually want to do live at all. But I think that that's huge for me, and it still is an area I am resistant on, and some of that is stuff I still need to kind of work through and figure out, like the why behind that. But for sure, seeing the value that it brings, for so many reasons that I've already mentioned.
Yeah.
Those the moments.
Yeah, I hear you. And, this is one thing I always tell my clients is if you're not feeling your content, right, then don't do it, because people can see right through it, right? Like you say, you know these people go live and they're just going live because they said that they're going to, and they're just kind of throwing something out there. And I love the fact that you said visibility with, what did you say? Visibility with purpose? With
Purpose.
With purpose, yeah.
Purpose.
I gotta write that one down. Visibility with purpose. Because that's it.
Yeah.
You knew what you were doing and why you were doing it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Trisha. Well, I've had a blast working with you. I don't know if you've had a blast working with me.
I love the idea of working with you, but in the moment to moment, there are times that I had a few choice words that I was using when I was trying to get on a lesson, and you're asking me one more question of like clarifying what is my plan, and I was like, I just told you what my plan is. Yeah, so that was frustrating, because I was thinking I was being really, really clear, and not realizing that I still needed to market to my lives. Those things like that were the way that you go about it is, what I love is that it's like I had to find that out for myself. So you're dropping the questions, and I was getting super annoyed because I was just like, what? I'm giving you the answers. So yes, so I love working with you because you can keep up with my speed. Like, because I work like when I've got a plan, it's done like right away. You can keep up with that, but then you push me even more. So yeah, but there's definitely some things that I was definitely like, this time around, probably more than ever.
Yeah.
Felt that.
That's what happens when you work private with me. I have the same thing with my trainer. When she's making me do 50 burpees, I want to kill her. But then when I'm able to fit in my jeans, I love her, right?
Right.
You have to do the work to get there. So, all right. Well, tremendous job, Trisha. Really, I am so proud of you, of the work you did, and you did. You put in the work. We had to adjust. You had to get there. And as soon as you pushed through, not, or being okay with changing the plan, right? Things just whoosh, kind of came together. So, and that was a lot of work, that was a lot of work that you did, and congratulations, because it paid off big time. So hopefully now you feel that you're walking away with a repeatable system that you can implement, because that's also the purpose of working one-on-one with me. Yes, we'll talk marketing, and yes, we'll talk social media strategy and all that stuff. But the bottom line for me and for my clients is for you guys to walk away with a repeatable plan, right? So many times that people are online doing their social media marketing stuff, they're jumping from one thing to another. Let me do a webinar, let me do a challenge, let me do this, let me just do content, right? And they never really look back to see what's working and what isn't. And when someone works with me, I want them to have a repeatable system. I want you guys to work smarter, not harder. So now Trisha, when she wants to fill up her programs now has a plan because she knows how it works and she knows it works. So tremendous job, Trisha. Awesome. I've been meaning to have this case study with you forever, and it finally came true. You did the work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does Jeanette say? Jeanette Miranda says, success means we must leave our comfort zone, the well-padded perimeter of predictability. Ooh, very nice. Congrats, Trisha, and kudos to Vanessa. This is all Trisha. Thank you, Jeanette. This is all Trisha's work. So, all right, guys. So I have one last announcement. So I'm actually running the Money Making Marketing Accelerator 5-day challenge again this year. I wasn't planning on running it until early next year, but it's clients like Trisha who have gotten amazing results from it. It's other challengers that have taken it that have been just crushing it and getting results after results faster, right? So I decided to run it again. Where's my horn? Yes. All right, so check it out. I'm going to put the sign up in the comment section. It starts October 5th. Where's my live? There we go. All right, guys, I just put the link in the comments for this live stream. So again, I'm running it one last time this year because, you know, we all know 2020 has been a bitch of a year, right? It has been hard on all of us. However, I don't want you guys to write off 2020. The online opportunities that are out there are endless. They are endless, right? And the attention online has never been this high, ever. I'm sure Trisha has gotten people, she's gotten in front of people who never even heard of homeschool or didn't even realize that they could learn from her online, right? And the same opportunities are out there for you guys, okay? But you just have to know how to market yourself to an online audience, right? And so we're starting October 5th. The Money Making Marketing Accelerator Cohort 2 is starting. I'm going to walk you guys through, again, step by step, exactly how I create my online marketing plans. And I have been doing this for a very long time, y'all, for 8 years, right? And I don't do anything willy-nilly. When I do it for a purpose. There's always a business goal. So this marketing plan is specifically going to be designed for you to achieve your business goals, just like Trisha and just like the rest of the other challengers that took it in July. So that's what's going down, guys. I'm super excited to run it again. The last challengers crushed it. And so with that, if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the chat box. For all the replay viewers, First Real asks Trisha any questions. I'm sure she'll get back to them with her answers on homeschooling and whatnot. So to everyone else out there, everyone give it a shout out to Trisha. She did amazing, and I will see you guys online. Peace.